Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hive in Sarnia for tonight's preseason contest. It will be the Sarnia Sting and the Flint Firebirds. Hi again, everyone. I'm Lee Cunningham, joined in the broadcast position by Patrick DeRozier. And Patty, here we go again. Of course, 2 years ago, the finest playoff run in the history of this franchise. Last year, retooling, but a lot of fine young players got some incredible seasoning that they may not get in any given year. But last year was an exception. These players are a little older, and we're introducing another crop of young players led by Alessandro Diorio, the second overall pick in the last priority selection.
Summer goes quick here, but I think we'll definitely see that young group that we saw last season. They went through a lot, and they played a lot. They certainly will get that opportunity here again this season to show what they have. I'm excited about it. They have some nice additions coming into the lineup this season. Should be exciting.
And absolutely a buzz is in the air in this community. It's been going on for a couple of years now as the starting goaltenders in here tonight. Evan Mayette will go for the Sarnia Sting, a former OHL Cup champion and one-time draft pick of the Kitchener Rangers. And the veteran, Nathan Day, a prospect for the Edmonton Oilers, will go for the Flint Firebirds, coming off 25 victories in goal last year for Flint. And we're underway here in the first home tune-up for the Sarnia Sting. Losers last night in Windsor to the Spitfires by a score of 6-3. But again, in front of the home folks tonight, let's see if they can serve up a victory, their first in the exhibition schedule before a week off. And a game against the Windsor Spitfires in this building a week from Tuesday. Caden Petrie loses his brother Colson Petrie to the pro ranks. He'll probably play this year, I would think, with San Diego of the American Hockey League after being a signed prospect by the Anaheim Ducks. And Caden Petrie will be relied upon for offense for the Flint Firebirds, entering year number 10 of existence after relocating from Plymouth, Michigan. Right away, the Firebirds dial up the forecheck, but an errant pass back to the line. It was towards Taylor, but he couldn't hook it to the forehand as he'll chase it down into Flint territory. As the Sarnia Sting enhance the forecheck here, looking to induce a turnover. It doesn't come their way, and here comes Clattenburg, the former Sioux Gray, on a shot, scores as he walks in with a crisp wrist shot to beat Mayette. And the Flint Firebirds have opened the scoring on a goal by Connor Clattenburg, who brings a certain sandpaper to the rink. Right there, he showed a pretty good flair as he used a line mate as a decoy and snapped it past the blocker side of Mayette to stake the visitors to the 1-0 advantage.
An early odd man rush here for the Flint Firebirds. It was a 2-on-1, and far side just off the post and in, so the Flint Firebirds early on the board here. Similar to last night against Windsor, the Sting got down a couple early.
Beckham Edwards out there for the face-off, a highly thought-out prospect as he joins the Sarnia Sting. He had some options, most notably the United States Hockey League's Youngstown Phantoms, but he signs with the Sarnia Sting, and he will be a fixture for this hockey club moving forward. Zach Filak, one of the overage candidates for the Sarnia Sting, ignites the rush up the ice. Following through is Edwards. Nice little move to sidestep his man as he got away from Colosimo. To the line, Casey Bridgewater, smooth skating young defenseman for the Sarnia Sting, digs it loose and gets it ahead now to Filak. Filak edged off the puck there by Anderson, who looks to revert past him. And Anderson will hand it off to Zaraski, their first-round draft pick. The Flint Firebirds taking him 6th overall in the last priority selection. Cole Zaraski. Lane Sim, a goal last night against the Windsor Spitfires, trying to ignite his offense early this season as Kostoff, a nice little move to twist away from traffic. He'll get the shot away, one that elevates over the crossbar area in behind Evan Mayette. On the right wing side, Colosimo trying to dig it loose, and it will be embedded in behind the Sarnia net, and finally loosened up there by Dylan Lukey, looking for a little bit in the way of more responsibility. And this is really his first season in the OHL, used sparingly last year as the Sarnia Sting auditioned a lot of young talent last year, and now you're hoping that I guess the responsibility they had along with just the development over the summer is going to enhance this group.
Well, this is the exciting time of year.
Yeah.
You see guys come back, and we've talked so much about the age of these players, and it's always exciting to see those first-year players come back for their second year. A lot of them grow throughout the season, throughout the summer. They bulk up, they get bigger, as every teenager does at that age. So there's often a big jump that happens between year 1 and 2.
3 minutes gone here in the opening period. 1-0 the Firebirds lead of the game on a goal by Clattenburg. As it is on the stick now of Lukey. Lukey against the far side boards takes a good body check. Administered there by Jack Darcy. It's loosened up and now on the stick of Kostov. He'll throw it ahead and it is looped back into the Sarnia zone as both teams will orchestrate a line change mid-flow here as we have 16:40 remaining in the opening period. The first 3 shots of the game belonging to the Firebirds. One of them resulted in the first goal of this hockey game. Now back towards the line. The pester there is Matthew Mania, the one-time member of the Sudbury Wolves. That's one thing the Flint Firebirds did. A lot of business with 3 teams in particular in the Eastern Conference, Sudbury being one of them. Mania, who along with Lukasz Fischer, was invited to the U.S. Summer Showcase. Of course, a little audition for the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championship, this year being staged in Ottawa, Ontario. Back to the line, a little shot from the line there. It just dribbled by the goal mouth area. Mayette cautiously watches that skip through his goal mouth area. 1-0 the Firebirds lead it, and once again getting some offense rolling in the Sarnia zone, but an errant shot from the slot area sees the Sarnia Sting gobble up the loose puck, and a pass ahead towards Tyson Doucette, who had a nice breakthrough year last year. A shot right on target. Dave strokes out the pad to make the save. That rebound, an inviting one for Diorio, who also scored last night in that loss to the Spitfires.
It's a great play there by Doucette. He takes that shot, but he's looking for that rebound. That's a definite shot off the right padded day. The rebound comes out exactly where he wants it, but Diorio gets tied up at the last second. He's unable to put that rebound in. Nice little play there by the two of them.
Tyson Doucette, the #1 returning point producer for the Sarnia Sting on the strength of 23 goals last year. Marco Sikic led this team in points, but he recently signed a contract with the Toronto Marlies of the American Hockey League. 15:36 left to go in period number 1. 1-0 the score. The Firebirds with the advantage. And, of course, we've talked about it, and we might as well repeat it, Patrick. These two teams have had a great running feud against one another over the past, say, 9+ years.
Going back to that initial first game over in Port Huron,
yes.
Right around this time of year.
A little hockey was played that afternoon, but not a ton. At least not with gloves on, anyway.
At the old McMorran Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. Played a lot of games there as a youth. I remember those boards. You used to hit those boards at McMorran Arena, and you would spring right back towards the ice surface. They had that whippy kind of motion to them, and I remember that facility very well from my youth. In the meantime, 15:24 left to go in the opening period. The Firebirds with 3 of the first 4 shots on goal and owners of a 1-0 advantage. Brendan Cook trying to throw it in front of the net. That failed to produce a shot. Nolan Collins, another one of those former Sudbury Wolves, brings a lot of skill and a fair bit of truculence to the back end. A former Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick, Collins, who retreats back to the line. Here comes Sean Doherty, whose game progressed. He was one of those players last year, Patrick, I thought as the season wore on, he got that much more comfortable, and it showed offensively.
It sure did.
Here comes Clattenburg skating swiftly up the left wing side. Clattenburg, again, a rugged performer out there, and now in the prospect stable of the Edmonton Oilers. Blake Smith on his way to the Detroit rookie camp, but he coughs up the puck. And Doherty ridden off the puck by the returning Smith, who makes amends after a little giveaway, gave the Sarnia Sting a proposition to move 3 up the ice, but no shot comes of it, at least not yet. Francis Keddy, 19-year-old free agent signee of the Sarnia Sting, and the nephew of Lou Francis Keddy, a hard-working Toronto Maple Leaf from back in the day. Cook out the boards towards Clattenburg. He was looking for Tessier, but that passing play misfires, and it's gobbled up now by Lukasz Fischer. Second-round pick of the St. Louis Blues, and a player who I think is going to be one of the dominant defensemen in the Ontario Hockey League over the next couple of years. Bodine traveling back towards his own line as it's thrown in front of the net. Anderson tried to reach out and reel it in after a feed in front of the net, and it did not reach his stick. That coming from one of their second-round picks, Ryland Cunningham. And now Sim at the line gives way to Felak, who was in tow. Felak tries to peel to the outside. Cunningham, a good back check there to knock him off strike. Loose rebound in front of the net. That caught the interest level of Edwards, but he just couldn't draw it to the forehand after a rather generous rebound off the pad of Day. Got the Sarnia Sting thinking that perhaps 1-1 was on the horizon. Now it's back to Edwards. Shot right on, and he buries that in the midsection of Nathan Day, who looked rather composed with that as again Beckham Edwards showing a good jump there. You can see the skill, there's no doubt about it, out of Edwards.
It was a nice heads-up play there by Lane Sim as well. That puck came over to him. He saw that both defense were converging on him. He threw it back out to the middle, who Edwards was there. Got that quick shot away. Nice save by Day. And a little bit of action here for the Sting offensively. Quickly take a look at the lines here for the Sting tonight. A little difficult time of year. You never really know who's going to be in or out of the lineup here as they audition several players here.
Yep.
But for tonight anyways, Diorio will center Doucette and Brown. Edwards with Filak and Sim. Wainwright will center Doherty and Francischetti. And Gahan will center Hall with Lukey. The back end has Fisher and Bodine together. Young, Barr, Bridgewater, and O'Mary. And we mentioned Mayette in net here to start tonight. It was kind of the opposite last night. Chartier got the start. Mayette went in halfway, and I'm sure we'll see the same here tonight with Chartier coming in to finish things off.
Yeah, a number of players not in the lineup for both hockey clubs, as you illustrated, Patrick. A time to see some young players, some of whom may not be with the hockey club as we move towards the regular season. Gahan in the corner, another third-round pick of the Sarnia Sting, entrenched in the lineup in here tonight as it's back towards the goaltender Day, who once again springs out a pad to make a routine save, and I believe the puck was airborne high enough to clip the big score clock just ahead of us here at the Hive, and not a bad showing here for the first preseason test for the Sarnia Sting. And the Sarnia Sting last year, Patrick, we talked about it so much, and the numbers bear it out. This franchise underwent a wonderful renaissance in terms of attendance, certainly bolstered a couple of years ago by that playoff run, but I'll tell you what, the fans were more than loyal last year, patiently waiting for this team to kind of rise up again, and it's work in progress at this level. We all know that.
It was a great atmosphere.
It sure was.
The crowds were unbelievable all season long, and hopefully we see the same here again as this team again. It'll be an improved team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think, you're looking for them to be a playoff team this year.
That's the goal, without a doubt.
I think next year's probably going to be the year that is going to be the big year for them again to try and make that push, but should have a much improved team here. I think a lot of these young players will have taken a big step coming into this season. And
I'm in agreement as well. And Nick Sergic, of course, the number one goaltender for the Sarnia Sting, whose last game last year, perhaps his best, that victory against the Flint Firebirds in shutout fashion.
I think he'll be one of the top goalies in the league this year.
I really do, based on his work ethic. And I tell you what, if there was ever a goaltender that may earn a letter, be it an A or a C, it might be Nick Sergic, based on the respect level his teammates have for him. Now a chance for the Firebirds in front. Back to the line. Kostoff, a shot right on target. And a nice save made there by Mayette as he extends the arm to knock it down again. Evan Mayette, one-time prospect for the Kitchener Rangers. Played last year with the Toronto Patriots, who also had J.J. Francischetti in their lineup as well.
Face-off here will be to the left of Mayette.
1-0 the score. The Firebirds with the advantage. Shots on goal have evened up at 4 apiece as Clattenburg has the only goal of this hockey game recorded very early on in this opening period. The Firebirds travel back into their own zone. Deuce, a great job to rid himself of the checking there of Calissimo. And that was a nice play by Doucette, who had to win a battle in front of the net and shred the much larger defenseman. He did that in fine fashion and was able to rear back and get a rather heavy wrist shot in the direction of Day, one that was handled in front of the net by the Flint Firebirds netminder.
Cook picks up an assist on that, and so does Mania. Am I saying that right?
Yep, Matthew Mania. Absolutely. Matthew Mania in the prospect pool of the Los Angeles Kings. And a number of these players, of course, will be going to their respective camps in the coming days. But a number of players that will be in the regular lineup, one would think, for both sides, partaking in this hockey game tonight. Christopher Thibodeau, fine skating former Kingston Frontenac. He'll give him a little dose of offense as he hands it off now to Caden Petrie. Shot towards the front of the net on the blocker's side, but it was wide by a fair margin on Mayette. Scooped up now by Fisher. Fisher trying to ignite the attack. He'll get it into Doucette. A high rising shot that will rim over the shoulder of Day. The outcome of that sequence up the ice, pieced together by the Sarnia Sting. Matthew Wang tied up there. He runs into some gridlock immediately, but reclaims the puck. After a little hard work, saw him pick up the pieces after initially he was shut down by a threefold of defenders just ahead of the Sarnia line. Blake Smith, former Oshawa General, ahead now towards Matthew Wang. Thibodeau, good pass into the slot. Caden Petrie releases another shot. Same result as the first one, as that was wide of the target, this time on the glove side of Evan Mayette. Doherty trying to barge his way through the defensive coverage of Jack Darcy at the line. Couldn't get very far as it's back in behind the net. 1-0 Flint, but the Sarnia Sting trying to remedy that with a little rush up the ice. Mitch Young, who enjoyed a fine season last year on the back end for the Sarnia Sting, in my opinion. 11 goals back there for the Sarnia Sting, on his way to the Colorado Avalanche camp in the coming days. Young again. Spots and delivers a pass across the ice. James Barr with a shot, and another stop made there by Day, as once again it hits him right in the heart of the crest. And Clattenburg, no surprise there, in front of the net doing a little policing, as among others Francis Ketty was kind of a target for him, as he was a little close to Nathan Day, to the liking of Clattenburg, game's only goal scorer so far in the contest.
Face-off here will be to the left of Day. 10:51 remaining here in the first period. The Firebirds with a 1-0 lead. Shots on goal right now, 6-4 in favor of the Sting.
After the Flint Firebirds had the application of the first 4 shots of the game, at least 4 of the first 5 anyway. Edwards out there for the draw, as he is opposed by Clattenburg. The puck will travel back in behind the Flint net, where it's gathered up by Mania to the line. Nice job there by O'Meara to step in front of a player to keep it alive at least briefly. Now Clattenburg centering pass in front, looking for Cook, and that took a bounce to handcuff the young forward in front of the net as he was looking to retrieve that pass by Clattenburg. It was an on-time delivery, but again, a bounce or two kind of saw that play suspended. Now Edwards with a shot, a little rebound off the pad of Day, but reclaimed by the Firebirds, who deflected out of there. So after surrendering the first goal of the hockey game, we've seen some good offense being dialed up by the Sarnia Sting. Haven't seen a goal out of it yet, but their persistence should be rewarded as they keep trying to beat Nathan Day. And like Nick Sergic, I would think Nathan Day would be one of the better goaltenders in this league this year as well. 25 victories again last year for a Firebirds team that just snuck into the playoffs. It was kind of a late surge by Flint. Sarnia and Flint had a really good kind of tug-of-war with that 8th and final playoff position, but the Firebirds caught fire. A stretch of 7 wins in 10 games. Late January, early February, and that was followed up by a stretch towards the end of the season in their last 25 games, gaining points in 15 of them. That was enough to push them into the playoffs, where they met the eventual OHL champion London Knights. Back in behind the net, Mania. Good crisp pass as he throws it ahead to Cunningham. He took a little bump there and forfeits possession of the puck after the impact. Zaraski down low, challenging Fisher, who's able to nudge it as far as the line. Kept alive there, and Lukey with a punishing body check as he tags Colosimo with a great body check. Now we get more friction. Gahan involved there with Collins. And now we get Collins and Lukey involved here. Carson Hall wants to have a conversation with Collins as well, as the Lions crew, led by the Sarnia area duo of Brock Perry and Jordan Hurtubise, intervene.
No love lost between these two teams.
No.
Never has been.
Yeah.
As they continue to spar down there.
Yeah. Collins plays with a little sandpaper. He's a big defenseman. Again, a former pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Back for an overage season, as the belongings of the players involved are returned to their rightful owners. Penalties, probably, but Collins, I think, might. No, I think they're just going to let it slide.
They're going to have a little conversation.
9:05 left to go
for now.
Yeah, 9:05 left to go here in the opening period. I think Flint under Clattenburg, the only goal scorer so far. He is first of the postseason, this being Flint's first tune-up in the exhibition schedule. Flint will be home tomorrow, I believe, to the Windsor Spitfires, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm glad we get a few practice games in here, at least, so you can get the rust off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long off season, I'm telling you.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
You're always prepared, ready to go.
Well, we try.
Me, on the other hand.
Oh, no. No.
Face-off here will be
is our ninth season together?
Ninth season.
I
had to give you a math lesson before the game started. We figured it out.
I was about to propose a toast to year 10, and I was informed that now you're off by a year, but my arithmetic has never been my forte. So now we get everybody involved again. Here we go. Gage Brandon, the Petrolia native, involved at the red line area with Gahan. Hall steps in as well. Lukey also paired off with Collins. That's not the first time recently that they've met nose to nose.
I think we'll see some penalties this time.
Yeah, I think Mitch Young's been escorted to the penalty box, and surely he won't be alone in that. As with 8:52 left to go in period number one, tempers get a little bit short. As you said, it didn't take long for these two teams to get on a dislike for one another. Carson Hall having a conversation there with...
And I'm assuming we see these guys 8 times again this year?
We do indeed. As a matter of fact, most of those 8 games are like very early in the season. I think they play the Firebirds 3-4 times within the first, say, 7-8 weeks of the regular season.
That was like Saginaw last year. We were done with them by Christmas, basically.
Same deal with Saginaw this year, Patrick. Our second game of the year in Saginaw at the Dow Event Center. I understand their Memorial Cup ceremony will be the Wednesday before we arrive in Saginaw on Saturday.
We thought it might be the Saturday when we were in there, but...
Yep. Shot coming in. Follow-up chance for Collins. Big save by Mayette, but the rebound in front of the net and pounced upon by Christopher Thibodeau. Boy, he had the easy roll in that play. He just strided to the net and got a gift-wrap bounce off the pad of Mayette, who made a nice original save, but again, the rebound was there for the taking, and Thibodeau makes it 2-0 Flint.
The clock kept running there, but that was only 9 seconds. It was a power play goal by the Firebirds. Several shots through, and eventually the rebound was out to the right side of Mayette. No chance on that one as that gets shoveled home. Now 2-0.
11:34 the time of the goal.
Well, I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I think they're going to be adjusting that. They let the clock run for about 20 seconds after that goal went in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're going to, oh, no.
Well, the Firebirds have staked themselves to the 2-0 advantage here in the opening period as Christopher Thibodeau again brought in to supply offense with that blazing speed of his. They lost one of the best skaters in the OHL due to graduation in Oliver Peer, now with the University of New Brunswick, but they inherit one in Thibodeau, who is just an extremely gifted skater, and he was there to park it in behind Mayette. As Thibodeau, 60 points last year for the Kingston Frontenacs, has made it 2-0 for Flint. Here comes Wainwright dashing his way up the right wing side. He's gaining speed as he propels his way into the zone. Backhander there. Big rebound again, surrendered by Dale. Follow-up chance off the stick of Francis Ketty, and he just could not find the range in front.
It's about the 4th rebound we've seen.
You're right. You're right about that. As the Sting have had the luxury of some second opportunities off the pad of Day so far in this hockey game, but it remains 2-0 for Flint. A shot right on there as Mania drives in from his point position up the right wing side to get a shot away. Francis Getty looking to do a little dealing there with Wainwright. Instead, he'll just fire it in behind the Flint netminder Day, where it's scooped up now by Mason Taylor. Long lead pass strung along to Clattenburg, who's bodied on the play there by Doucette. As we get the announcement on the goal here by Thibodeau. Back to the line. Mania with a shot deflected in front by Clattenburg, making a bid for his second of the period, but he deflects it just wide as he was closely shadowed there by big Jack Bodine as the two of them hang around a fence for a moment or two.
That'll be offside there, the Sting. And just a little early on that play.
Of course, Jack Bodine representing one of the import positions for the Sarnia Sting. Ruslan Karamov, the other, a very talented 17-year-old forward by reputation. Not quite in town yet, but the anticipation is he'll be ready to go opening night on September 27th when the retooled Windsor Spitfires pay a visit to open the curtain on the season. Cunningham swings it back in behind the Sarnia net. Zoroski gives chase. Fisher.
Do you need help with the pronunciation of that one?
Cole Zoroski?
No, Cunningham.
Oh, no. I like the kid's chances, I'll say that.
Yeah. As that goal, by the way, by Thibodeau, obviously power play goal. Assist go to Collins and Mania again. That's 2 for him.
What was the time of that first goal, Penny?
First goal was 1:19.
Yeah, I knew it was.
And then 11:34 is the time of that second one.
Yep. So the Sting Looking for a little bounce back here with the remaining 6:33 in this opening period as they have surrendered the first 2 goals of the hockey game to the Flint Firebirds. Doucette in pursuit of the puck. Colosimo, I think, maybe got ahead of the play a little bit too quickly at the blue line, and that play suspended on the offside, handed to the Flint Firebirds.
Sting opened up the exhibition last night in Windsor. As mentioned, they lost that one 6-3.
Good to see Lane Sim get a little confidence with a goal to
power play goal.
Yep, absolutely. Another one of those players who hopes to use last year's experience to propel his offense. He's got good hands. He's feisty out there, and now it's just a confidence thing. And, winning a few puck battles and that kind of thing. As tough league as he well knows after last season, but he looks to be in pretty good form so far in camp. And now Felak peers over his shoulder to see the oncoming rugged defenseman Blake Smith. A centering pass there attempted by the Sting. That off the stick of Edwards, but that was a good play defensively by the Flint Firebirds to subdue that play that was developing for the Sting in front of Nathan Day. As it sits 2-0, the Firebirds lead it on the stick of Felak. Pinpoint into Lane Sim, who walks in and gets the shot away. And that is a high rising shot that elevates over the shoulder of Day after a nice setup in front by Zach Felak to spring him.
And I think that clipped the knob of Day.
So Sim battling in the corner as he looks for a second opportunity, but he will depart. He's out of fuel, and he'll make his way to the Sarnia bench. In the meantime, 5 minutes left to go in the opening period. Here comes Mitch Young, a drop pass and a Wainwright, a shot towards Day. He was looking to find a little crevice between the legs, but Day was able to pin the pads together to prevent that from slipping by him, and it remains 2-0 here with the Firebirds leading this hockey game and the Sting leading the shots on goal situation at 10-9.
Pretty good crowd in here for an
Not
exhibition
bad.
game.
Not bad at all. I'm not going to necessarily wager a number, but I would suspect it would be approaching a couple thousand or better.
Yeah, at least a couple thousand in here tonight.
Great to see. But again, no surprise these days as this community has really, really embraced this franchise. And, candidly, credit to everyone involved with the Sarnia Sting in all the departments that they represent. They work tirelessly. They're very efficient. They're very skilled. And, you combine skill and hard work, and you're going to get good results.
Yeah, they've done a lot of things right here over the last few years, that's for sure. 5:10 here on the clock in the first period. Sting down 2-0. But they are getting their chances.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
And they will get an opportunity here with the puck in the offensive zone. Face-off will be to the right of Day. And it will be Wainwright out there to take the draw.
Wainwright in there, opposed by Christopher Thibodeau, one of the goal scorers in here tonight for the Flint Firebirds. Wang pursues his man at the line. That's Young. The two of them battle. It springs into neutralize. Thibodeau gives chase, but even with that great speed, he can't catch up to it. Here's another speedy player in Easton Wainwright. A shot towards Day, who just got a fraction of that puck to steer it away from harm, but nice acceleration there by Easton Wainwright as they look to saw into the 2-0 lead established here by the Flint Firebirds. Taylor ahead towards the line. Wang upended on the play by Doherty. Now James Barr, they're expecting a lot out of James Barr, whose season was interrupted last year, both by a medical issue and injury, but he is a very good skating, sound defenseman back there for the Sarnia Sting, who should contribute to that power play as time moves forward. Nolan Collins scoops up the puck. He's in flight at center ice, looking around for passing options, trying to get it to Thibodeau, but he bypasses him as it's into the slot area. Clattenburg trying to follow up with a shot, but the puck would not behave on the ice for him. Barr knocks down Clattenburg, who looked at the official with a bit of a puzzled look. Ryan Brown, last year's first-round pick of the Sarnia Sting, another player who endured some injury last year. As it's back towards Clattenburg, he'll return it to the area in front of the net. Tessier rubbed out on the play. Second-round pick for the Flint Firebirds, Xavier Tessier. In the corner, Clattenburg stumbles over a stick. Good non-call there as he kind of was tripped up by his defenseman. Now it's a rolling puck in front. Fisher zeroes in on it and throws it back to the line. Bodine with a wrist shot right on. Knocked down there by Day as once again the Firebirds netminder is under siege. With the exception of the 2 goals against, I haven't minded this first period by the Sarnia Sting. They just got to find a way to beat Day.
No, they've played well here offensively. You're going to get a couple penalties here as, oh, actually Brown's not going to go. He was jousting with the young defenseman in front of the Flint Firebirds here. He's going to get the only penalty. It's going to be a slash, I'm assuming. No, they're going to give a high stick.
I think it's going to be Colosimo.
Yep. So the Sting going to get a chance on the power play here. Their first of the evening.
And so
coming out here, Wainwright's out there, Felak's out there, Sim, Young, and is that Edwards over there, I think, on the back end.
Yes, indeed. Now it's back towards Young at the line. He'll get the wrist shot away. It bounces in front. Felak there to rescue the play, get a shot away, and Dave's been active. He's had to be, as he's been somewhat under siege in recent minutes of this opening period that has 3:18 left in it. The Firebirds leading at 2-0, and the Sting had a couple of power play goals last night in Windsor and looking to keep that trend alive with one here tonight to close that gap to 2-1. Back towards Young, who pitches in from the blue line as Edwards streaks back into his own zone to keep his eye on Gage Brandon. Nice job there by Edwards as the London area product will leave it in behind the net. That was good hustle back there. Good instinctive defensive work by Beckham Edwards. Ahead now on the stick of Wainwright. Wainwright makes a move to the interior of the framework of the Firebirds defensive structure as it's back towards the line, and Edwards trying to rid himself of the rather menacing checking of his man, Brandon. As this power play is introduced here in this building, here comes Young again, trying to peel to the outside on his man, Jack Darcy. A shot from the line by Wainwright, knocked down in front by Blake Smith, who takes a spill at the hands of Felak as they battle in front. It is Young trying to pick his way away from Zarowski. Now here comes Edwards with a shot. Scores! Beckham Edwards walks into the shot as he was able to advance and mobilize from the blue line. Found a little corner to his liking and whistles it over the shoulder of Nathan Day. Again, the power play connects for the Sting, and it's 2-1 Flint.
Nice job there by the power play, sticking with that play. So they had to enter a couple times, but they get it in. Take advantage. A little running around in front by the Flint Firebirds, and that shot comes through. The Sting cut the lead in half here with 2:26 to go. A power play goal.
So Edwards with an assist last night in Windsor connects for the first time in preseason. Again, nice job to kind of survey the area in front of the net to see if a passing option might have been more prudent, but no. He'll just take a look at the ice and whip it home after a good shot beats Day in front. Something had to give as the Sting were really pouring it on offensively over the last several minutes of this opening period.
It was good patience there and a good hard shot. He took that extra couple seconds before shooting that puck, got in a little bit closer, and fired that one in.
And when a young player like that displays that kind of patience, that's a wonderful sign. That's a thinking man's goal right there. Gone. Back into his own zone, being pestered there. Now it's picked up by the Flint Firebirds. Centering pass in front. That will be wide by a fair margin. That coming off the stick of Max Anderson. Here's the announcement on the goal by Edwards, and we'll see about this. Is Bodine. What a move here to step his way into Flint territory. The shot applied. Another generous rebound given up by Day, who's been fighting the puck a little bit here in the opening period. Lukey, another shot, another Day save, and another rebound relinquished, and it's gobbled up by the Sting as Fisher. He'll pedal back to his own line. Now he's got a little room to get the shot away, but it was blocked at the defense. Anderson wearing the after effects of that as it hit him right in the side of the foot. Taylor calms things down in the Flint zone by getting it ahead, and here comes Caden Petrie. Nice body work there as Fisher steps into Petrie now in the prospect stable of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Sounds like Mitch Young will pick up the lone assist on that goal by Edwards.
I would imagine the Petrie family wouldn't mind the destinations of their two sons when it comes to the NHL, Anaheim and Tampa. Sounds like a good vacation for the family. Anyway, you cut it. Back and behind the net, Sean Doherty edged off the puck there by Collins, who throws a rather robust check to subdue him in the zone. Now here come the Firebirds up the left wing side. Wang's got some speed, and he throws it in front to Thibodeau, who has his second of the opening period. Nice job there by Matthew Wang to break away from traffic, and available in front to take a surgically latched on pass was Christopher Thibodeau. He's got two in the opening period, and once again the lead is 2 for the Flint Firebirds at 3-1.
Yeah, good speed there by the Flint Firebirds. They get in behind the defense And a quick little play to the front of the net beats Mayette. And that's a tough one with 32 seconds remaining here. The Sting do a good job of getting back in the game here. And now they're going to be down by 2 here with 32 seconds to go here in the first.
Shots on goal signing with the Sarnia Sting at 15-11. And some of those shots a little bit misjudged by Day. We've seen a collection of rebounds off the Flint netminder. But the lead once again inflates to 2 for the Firebirds as it's back in behind the net. Gathered up by Diorio, who evades a check by Clattenburg. As it's ahead now towards Brown, who looks to bust away from his man Smith. Young comes in to body Smith. Smith having a look around saying, hey, maybe a penalty should have been called there, as this first period will draw to a close with the Flint Firebirds leading the Sarnia Sting by a score of 3-1. Final shots on goal in the opening 20. That sides with the Sting at 15-11. And so with that, your thoughts on this opening period before we break away?
Again, offensively, it's tough when you get down early like that, like the Sting did, but they did a nice job of coming back. They played well offensively. Again, unfortunate goal with 32 seconds left here. Makes it seem a little worse than it probably should be. Out shooting Flint 15-11, not a bad start.
Nope.
You don't like the 3-1 score, but you got lots of time left here to.
Well, that's it. You get a goal early, you get one late. 2 times that you hate to surrender one, but hey, again, a lot of these players are just trying to get a feel of the Ontario Hockey League, and they're getting a good dose of it over the last 48 hours when you factor in that game last night in Windsor. So with that, we'll take a little break, and we'll be back with the second period in about 17 minutes' time. And welcome back to the Hive in Sarnia as we prepare for second period play. The Flint Firebirds leading the contest after one by a score of 3-1. Christopher Thibodeau putting his stamp on things with a couple of goals as he reacquaints himself with a lot of players that he faced in the Eastern Conference. Of course, the Flint Firebirds involved with three significant trades, one with Sudbury, one with Niagara, and the other one with Kingston with the aforementioned Thibodeau. Connor Clattenburg opened the scoring at 119 for the Firebirds, and for the Sarnia Sting, it was first-year man Beckham Edwards scoring the goal, his first from Young at 17:34. But the Sarnia Sting showed some signs, underlined by the fact they were able to apply 15 shots on Nathan Day, who I thought fidgeted a little bit with the puck in that opening period. It wasn't completely clean, but he had some help from his defense core ahead of him, and the Firebirds indeed have that 2-goal advantage as we approach the puck drop here in the second.
Yeah, there was 4 or 5 nice rebounds there on Day that I'm sure he would have liked to clean up a little bit.
Well, I think there's a little bit of rust for everybody. No doubt about that. As
these exhibition games are tough. I'm actually surprised Day's starting in this, but
I would think this might be his one and only start before going to Edmonton's camp. That's just speculation on my part.
That makes sense.
As we get an early whistle here, as the Stinger flagged on what appears to be an offside at the Flint line, so we'll set up just ahead of the Flint Firebirds line. 3-1, the Firebirds with the advantage, just 10 seconds deep into this, the second period. Next action for the Sarnia Sting will come a week Tuesday. The Windsor Spitfires in town for a preseason tune-up against the Sarnia Sting. That is their next action in this building. As it's laid ahead now to a sprinting Ryan Brown, confronted at the line, and a nice sweep check applied there by the veteran Blake Smith to take away the ambitions of Ryan Brown. Now it's back towards the red line. Wang, who was instrumental in that third goal, scored by Thibodeau for the Firebirds in the first period with a nice pass to Springham. The two of them once again trying to collaborate on some offense. That time around, their efforts backfire as substitutions are being made primarily now by the Sting, and the Firebirds follow suit with a couple of substitutions of their own.
Flint going to go offside there. Petrie just a little ahead of the play.
19:10 left to go in the second period. 3-1 Flint.
I never liked exhibition as a goalie because you never know what you're going to get in front of you.
Well, exactly.
Nobody really knows what they're doing, and things tend to be a little bit messy out there.
Yep, you're right. And I think defensively more so than offensively, things suffer. I quite agree with that evaluation. You're working on your special teams and your defensive coverage. I think the offensive players can freelance like they normally do if they're skilled offensive players. That doesn't take that long to click. Clattenburg up the right wing side, confronted by a pair of defenders in Doherty and Young. He pursues the puck in behind the net. Now he sets his sights on Wainwright as Clattenburg takes a tumble to the ice, followed shortly thereafter by Barr, who also topples over in the area adjacent to the Sarnia net. Here come the Sarnia Sting springing into action as it's Mania down low, doing some guarding in the corner there defensively. Flint's effort to move it out of the zone, stop there at the line by Young, who got a wrist shot away, a high rising shot that was knocked down defensively before it could funnel through to Nathan Day. All the way back in behind the Sarnia net. The goaltender tonight, Mayette, has a look, but stays in his crease area. Now a chance in front for the Firebirds, as isolated there for a split second was Gage Brandon, as the Petrolia native was able to stalk the area in front of Mayette, but no shot comes of it as he tried to tug it loose from his skate blade and couldn't do it in time. So it remains 3-1 for the Firebirds. Good body check thrown at the line there by big Colosimo as he stands up his man. Filak now makes a bid for the loose puck in the near side corner. Back to the line. O'Mary slings a shot for the line, deflected in front there as Edwards was looking for his second of the hockey game, as he showed a rather deft touch in front in his ability to at least get a piece of that puck to kind of influence it in front of Nathan Day.
Good start offensively again here for the Sting. They had plenty of opportunities there in that first period. Obviously going to look to get things going here in the second. They trail by 2. Face-off here will be to the left of Day. It'll be interesting to see if Day does play the entire game or
just... you're right. Jacob Brown is listed as the backup in here tonight for the Sarnia Sting, Carson Chartier will have that role as Nick Sergitia gets a few days to prepare for what could be a long season for the overage netminder for the Sarnia Sting. Here come the Firebirds as they peel out of their own zone. Good body check there thrown by Filak in tandem with Sim as they knock their man off stride. Good job there. Jack Darcy was trying to angle towards the Sarnia line and in. Long lead pass now, trapped at the line there by Taylor as he coughs up the puck now to Lane Sim up the left-wing side. He gets the shot away, blocked rather alertly there by Smith, but a nice job there by Sim to break away from some traffic and get a shot that didn't funnel through the big defenseman. Again, Blake Smith went to Boston's camp last year. This time around, he will attend the rookie camp of the Detroit Red Wings. And probably a trip up to Traverse City for their annual event that has really grown over the years. Kostov centering pass in front. Bodine knocks it down and he'll circle in behind the net as the big towering defenseman of the Sarnia Sting has a look around for passing options. Long lead pass as that was just away from the sticks of both Lukey and Sim, and icing will be the outcome here as we have 16:39 remaining here in the second period. Flint 3, the Sarnia Sting 1.
Camps, I'm assuming, start up throughout next week?
Well, yeah, because it'll be idle in this league next week, so everyone gets a chance to go to their respective camps, and then the following week they'll pick up the preseason schedule. I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's so hard to ice, a team, in a lot of cases with several players obviously on their way as either drafted players or invites to respective NHL camps. Taylor from the line, a shot will be spun away from the goaltender Mayette by his pad as he'll lunge the leg forward. Lane Sim has it again. He'll look for a little lane out of his own zone, and he takes a body bump there as he is taken off the puck by Thibodeau, who's been instrumental in tonight's game with a couple of goals for the Firebirds. Long lead pass, but an errant one as that will jump over the stick of Matthew Mania, looking to flag it down at the Sarnia line, and the Firebirds will defend a face-off in front of Nathan Day. Foregone here in the second, 3-1 Flint.
I would think the start of school in early September kind of dictates when these camps start, because you think it's a little bit backwards when you think that you get going and then you have to kind of take a little bit of a break as the NHL guys go off to their camps, and then things filter down from there. But I'm sure that start of school and getting the kids settled has a lot to do with camp starting at the beginning of September.
Absolutely. Doucette parked in behind the Flint net, trying to rid himself of the rather persistent checking of Taylor. He does. A shot by Doucette to return it to the line. O'Mary angles a shot towards the front of the net. Diorio, a little backhander there, but it hit a rival leg and bounces away from the goaltender Day. Flagged down by Taylor again, but once again he's subjected to a good forecheck. This one implemented by Alessandro Diorio, selected number 2 overall in the last priority selection.
He's a nice looking player.
He is. He had a great camp. He's got all the tools to be a formidable player and then some in this league. 5 minutes nearly gone here in the second. It remains 3-1 Flint. Here comes Casey Bridgewater, the smooth skating defenseman of the Sarnia Sting, takes a return pass. Centering pass in front towards Diorio. Nice stick applied there in front of the net, right in the nick of time by Brendan Cook as Diorio was isolated in front and looking to lure in that pass. All the way back into the Sarnia zone. That should be icing. It will be as Barr slows down his pace in anticipation of an upcoming face-off once again. That will be staged in front of Nathan Day.
Nice job there by Bridgewater, staying with that puck. Good speed to get around. He got knocked down, and he actually made that pass over to Diorio on his knees and nearly got to him, but tipped away at the last second. Face-off here will be to the right of Day. 14:53 remaining here in the second period. Still 3-1 Flint.
And Casey Bridgewater, another one of those Sting young players last year. They got a little taste of the action. Very smooth skater out there. As it is scooped up now by the Firebirds. Zaraski towards the line, the first-round pick of the Firebirds. We'll leave it there now for the veteran Nolan Collins as he tries to shake loose from a double team that swarms over him along the far side boards in the Sarnia zone. The Sting rid their zone of the puck. Now it's available in front of the Flint goal, but once again, it is scooped up by the Firebirds. Zaraski, long lead pass towards Collins, who had to hustle up to poke it away from Young, who was looking to feast on that opportunity. Cunningham in front of the net, looking for the pass. It rattles off the blade of his stick as he was the recipient of a feed in front by Nolan Collins, who was looking to find him. Cunningham again rotates the puck back in behind the net. Soroski centering pass, but Wainwright was there to intercept. Now he's looking for a little avenue out of there as the Sarnia Sting are just trying to find a little path out of their own zone. They finally do, as it's lifted along to the now leaving Doherty, as he is right beside the Sarnia bench after deflecting it back into Flint zone. 3-1, the Firebirds with the advantage, 13:42. I'll have to go here in the second period, as that puck looks like it will jump into the protective netting, and we'll get a little break in the action.
Bodine went to dump that in. It gets chipped up and over the glass here. They'll come out to take their break and get the snow off the ice.
Of course, the Sarnia Sting will usher in the regular season coming up in this building. That will be on September 27th, as they will play host to the Windsor Spitfires. And the Windsor Spitfires, a season ago, giving up an unsightly 360 goals on the season. They will have to tidy that up, no question about it, under new head coach Greg Walters, who of course was here for a number of years as an assistant.
Sting have played Windsor to start the season. I think definitely last year they were in Windsor to start the year.
Yep,
and
you're
I
right.
think the year before that as well.
I think you're right. One thing about the Windsor Spitfires, they are a big, big hockey club.
Yeah, they got some guys that can put the puck in the net too.
Yeah, you're right.
Led by Greentree.
A signed prospect of the LA Kings.
Maybe he won't be returned by then.
You never know.
They might hang on to him for a little bit.
Nice player, one of the league's best, no question about it. No question about it. Darcy off the boards as he pumps a pass ahead towards the red line. Calissimo could not get on track. That is Josh Calissimo, as the two brothers are both in the lineup here this evening. Caden Petrie checked at the red line by Bodine, who stuffed into the wall there by Kostov, but there in support is Fisher to move it ahead towards a Bodine. Long lead pass right to the line. Carson Hall trying to sidestep his man Darcy. It ends up in the corner now in behind the Flint net, as the Firebirds under a little duress with the Sarnia Sting enhancing their forecheck. The Sting need a goal to carve into that Flint lead, which stands at 3-1 with 12:50. We'll have to go in the second period. The Sting 16 shots and the Flint Firebirds with 13. So there's only been the application of, I believe, 3 shots so far in this second period, as we're looking for a little pulse here. Blake Smith ahead to Kostov. He'll bounce it off the boards. That will cater to the stick of Fisher, who holds up actually, as icing will be directed towards the Flint Firebirds.
And Sting will get the change here, but Flint will be caught out there with the same guys. So Sting with an opportunity here as they send Brown, Diorio, see if they can take advantage of this.
Well,
face-off will be to the right of Day.
Well, we talked about the goal surrender last year by the Windsor Spitfires. Now, they went out and got an overage goaltender, Keanu Reeves, a few weeks ago. So
yeah, I saw that.
I'm wondering if perhaps he might get the start to try and settle that defensive work. A little chance for a promotion for the Spitfires. No question about that.
Some more pushing and shoving here after the whistle, as the Sting do get an opportunity off of that face-off. But Day's able to cover it up. Flint Firebirds will get that change that they were looking for.
The other big change in the Ontario Hockey League, for the first time since 1979, Dave Branch will not be the commissioner of this league. He's done an admirable job. So many changes when you look at television and social media and other various things in operating a league that has often been dubbed the most successful developmental league for the National Hockey League in the world. And I think Dave Branch deserves that retirement richly. He's done a heck of a job overseeing this league for so many years. As it's back in the corner and scooped up there by Taylor, ahead to Wang, but a misfire on the pass. That opens up a chance for the Sarnia Sting to set with a shot right on target, as Dave forced to make another save, this one on Bridgewater, who stepped in from the blue line to get a slap shot away that was on target. Now the Sarnia Sting looking to dig in and find a second goal in here this evening, and their pursuit begins in behind the net. Bridgewater, pinpoint pass back to a pinching O'Mary, a shot right on Day, as that rattle off of his pad, but away from the oncoming Ryan Brown, who was fishing in front of the net looking for a clean chance after the rebound. Glattenberg alleviates the pressure. He's back in behind the Sarnia net. He tried a shot that had a low percentage of success as he was swarmed over by Sarnia defensive personnel, and that shot indeed was nowhere near the goaltender, Mayette. 3-1, Flint leads it. A shade over 11 minutes left to go here in the second period. The Sting one shot away from 20, and the Firebirds a couple away from 15, and shots have been in short supply so far here in this, the second period. Gage Brandon will leave it there for Cunningham with a shot right on, and Mayette able to extend the glove to reel in that shot that was about waist high, and we'll get a face-off coming up in Sarnia territory.
Still 10:58 remaining here in the second period. Score 3-1 in favor of the Flint Firebirds. They'll get a chance here in the offensive zone. We'll see here with 10:58 remaining here. Once we hit that 10-minute mark, if either team will make a change halfway through. A lot of times, though, now they wait till the end of the second period to sometimes make that change, but we'll see what happens here.
Here comes Brandon into the Sarnia zone, confronted there by Barr, who stares him down and steers him away from the front of the Sarnia net. Cook in the corner battling there with, among others, Carson Hall as he takes a spill in the corner. Young there to lure the puck to the forehand. Now he's kind of cornered there, looking for a chance to get out of there. Brandon with a shot after a little bit of misjudgment there defensively by the Sting. And that is wide of the target. Zach Fielak out of there, accompanied now by Lukey. Lukey pursues the puck in behind the Flint net. He'll get there first and twist away from his check as he's looking to send it back in behind the Flint net. He does to Wainwright. Stalking the area in front is Carson Hall, who's shadowed there as it is Lukey with a drive, knocked down in front by Collins, and he will pull the puck ahead as it is the Firebirds trying to get something established at the Sarnia line. Not to come as the Sarnia Sting regroup in their own zone again. 3-1 the Firebirds as we have dipped below the halfway point of this, the second period. Bodine into Sean Doherty. Lifts it along towards Hall. That bounds away from him. He'll signal to the bench and be replaced as it will be Francis Kenny stepping into the action. J.J. Franciscetti tips it ahead, trying to spring Wainwright. He was tied up there by Darcy, perhaps borderline interference, but they let it slide. A shot from the line off the stick of Bodine. That will travel well away from the goaltender Day and reclaimed by the Firebirds. Cunningham releases a shot. Quick pad displayed there by Mayette on the short side, but the Firebirds may not be done. A shot in front by a pitching Darcy. Again, Mayette. This time around with the glove displaying back-to-back saves to keep the Sarnia Sting in the conversation here. Down 3-1 with a shade over 9 to go here in the second.
Couple nice saves there by Mayette. That last one especially from in close, right about those hash marks. And he makes that glove save. No rebound on the play. It's a 3-1 game.
Another development that we should probably discuss. The first time since their departure to North Bay, Brampton once again housing the OHL product as Mississauga makes the relatively short trip over there. But what Brampton inherits is arguably the best team in the Ontario Hockey League. One of them, without a doubt.
No question, and it'll be interesting to see. I just finally stopped calling North Bay Brampton,
yeah,
and now they're going to be back in the league again with a new name.
And of course, Brantford coming into the fold. Old guy like me, you got to ease off on that. But great to see that come to fruition, and hopefully it is warmly embraced in the Peel region.
That's a good-looking hockey team.
Porter Martone. Does he go first? Does he go in the top 5? I think certainly the latter would be true.
Yeah.
That's a good team. Luke Misa, Ryerson Leanders traded to Brantford, so
for a boatload.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over that one.
Jack Ivankovic, who played beautifully internationally in the offseason, ready to take the reins there. That's good hockey club.
Face-off here will be to the right of Day.
Now Fisher looking around for Bodine. Is in from the blue line. Trapped there by Bodine at the half wall along the near side board. Still 3-1 for the Flint Firebirds. And again, this game could use a little taste of offense as it's become a tad stale here in the second period. I believe that puck may have clipped an onlooker at the Sarnia bench and thus grounds for the whistle.
I think it went off Chartier there at the end of the bench. Both goalies still in the game that started here, so we'll wait and see if maybe they make a change here going into the third period, but 8:34 remaining here in the second. And another face-off deep in the Flint zone here.
Again, the shots on goal. Sarnia with 4 here in the second period, and the Firebirds with 5, so a little bit more output in the last couple of minutes after a rather lukewarm start to this middle period. Doherty sets up for the face-off. Clattenburg to join him. Off the wall, Francis Kenny gets it in behind the net. We'll get a penalty coming up here to Wainwright. He just got his stick lodged between the legs of Mason Taylor, who drops to the ice, and the Flint Firebirds will have the benefit and the luxury of their first power play of the hockey game, and an imperative kill here for the Sarnia Sting, down 3-1. But yesterday in Windsor, they did hold the Spitfires off the score sheet in terms of power play production. So we'll see if they can put together a penalty kill here to keep things close here in Sarnia.
It'll be Wainwright going. It'll be a trip. Face-off comes all the way back down into the Sting zone here. And Flint did have a power play goal. I think it was their first one here tonight.
Correct, yes. Thibodeau.
Yeah,
Thibodeau's first of the evening.
Wasn't much of a power play. It only took them 9 seconds right off the face-off pretty much. So we'll see if the Sting can do a better job with this one.
Well, these two teams were two of the teams in the OHL last year that had among the fewest short-handed chances against. That's something the Sarnia Sting surely would love to duplicate this year, as Collins spins away from the checking of Doucette out there with Phelak. They're armed with Bodine and Fisher on the back end. Now it's back to the line. Matthew Mania has a look around his pass to his former Sudbury teammate. Collins was an errant one and lodged in his skates, and regrouped now by the Sting as Doucette will punch it down the ice. So they'll travel back. Matthew Mania. Again, he and Lukasz Fisher went to that summer showcase for a spot potentially on Team USA for the next World Juniors in Ottawa. Canada will be coached once again by Dave Cameron, who won gold back in 2022 for this nation. Now it's back towards a Mania. Mania trying to get away from his check. Brown. Mania. Again, Brown shadowing him. Good job by Brown to induce the turnover, and the Sarnia Sting bring it up the ice. Here comes Ryan Brown. He's got Bridgewater with him. Brown conceals the puck to try and get the pass across the ice. He did, but it was just off the mark, and Bridgewater travels back to help defend as here come the Firebirds as they penetrate into the attacking zone. Brown in the corner, being guarded there closely by Caden Petrie, and once again the Sarnia Sting find it and release it down the ice.
Nice job so far on the kill here. 40 seconds to go.
7 to play in the second.
Firebirds all the way back down and behind their net.
Here comes the Firebirds. It is on the stick of Wang. Wang trying to sidestep Bodine, who got enough of them to slow him up so that Fisher could join the defensive work, and keep an eye again on Wang in the near side corner. A check there by Bodine. Now Bodine, good body check to knock down his man Alex Kostov. Good body work there displayed by the Swede Jack Bodine. Long lead pass towards the blue line on the stick of Tessier, who's knocked into the wall there sufficiently by Fisher, as it is back towards the Flint end zone once again. So nice tidy job of penalty killing there for the Sarnia Sting, who needed to eliminate that power play chance. So it sits at 3-1 still for the Flint Firebirds. Plenty of time to manufacture some offense from a Sarnia perspective. They lead in the shots on goal by 3, so let's see if they can amass some more shots in this second period of a clean nature in front. Now back of the corner, Zaraski. Centering pass on a beauty right onto the stick of Gage Brandon, and a sliding Mayette makes his most impressive save of the evening.
Real nice setup there by Flint. An equally nice save there by Mayette. We'll take a break here as they get some snow off the ice. Haven't heard of any rule changes coming into the year this year.
You know what? I got to review that. I'm sort of going through everything over the past few weeks. And
normally they do a post, though, if anything's
do.
Changing, and I haven't seen anything come across. So,
well, Josh Sweetland and Joel Wood at the league office do a tremendous job with their work surrounding the league in terms of informations and breaking it down by team and all that kind of thing. And it's an invaluable tool for guys like us, no doubt about it. And I'm sure that that will be part of what they relay information-wise, as we will get things ramped up again with 5:54 left to go in the second period. 3-1 Flint. Either team has hit for 20 shots so far. The Sting closest with 19.
That was a huge kill for the Sting. If they can get one here by the end of the second period here, it'll make for an interesting third.
Talked about Dave Cameron once again piloting Team Canada at the next World Juniors. Chris Lazary will be one of his assistant coaches, and still basking in the Memorial Cup win. Had a chance to get down there, and what an atmosphere.
Yeah, they did a real good job.
They did an outstanding job.
Yep.
They truly did. To a person, that's exactly what was articulated. It was a very well-staged event by the folks in Saginaw. And now back towards the red line. Wainwright puts a stiff shoulder into Zoroski to curtail his progress up the ice. And now James Barr back there circling about, trying to get rid of Cunningham in there relentlessly on the forecheck. Cunningham stole the puck, tried to get a shot away, but that was patched up defensively in front before any more offensive damage could be inflicted by the first-year man. They head now at the red line. Here comes Young navigating his way into the zone. He gives off to Wainwright. Oh, and a stop there by Day as Wainwright dusted off a nice, clever move in front. Is it a penalty shot, or are we just going to get a hook?
I don't think so. No,
yeah, it's
going to
be
call it a trip.
Yeah, Chad Engel says it's a trip, but what a lovely piece of maneuvering in front of the net by Wainwright, who showed his man this and gave him that and peeled to the outside, forcing Day into a solid pad save to keep it at 3-1.
We've seen that a few times here so far tonight. Great speed by Wainwright, and makes his way towards the net, draws the penalty, still gets a pretty good chance off, and the Sting will go back to the power play here. I believe this is their second opportunity here of the game.
Looking to cash in here, as it is picked off now by the Firebirds. Cook taken out of the play at the line as the Sting were banished out of the offensive zone by the efforts of Brendan Cook.
It'll be Doucette, Diorio, Brown, Fisher, and Bodine out there for the Sting.
The first alignment here on the power play, as we've got about 4:40 left to go here in the second period. 3-1 Flint, as it is Doucette moving it up the ice towards the left wing side. He's all bundled up along the far side boards. Caden Petrie in there getting some assistance by Cook, who turns in a good penalty killing shift. Back onto the stick of Lukasz Fisher, as he will drive out of his own zone. Wang keeping an eye on him, as Fisher will leave it now for Diorio. Diorio into Doucette, who just shy of the blue line of the Flint Firebirds, content to fire it back in behind the Flint net. Flagged down to the line by Fisher. He'll get it into Diorio. Rink-wide delivery towards Bodine, juggled by the big Swede as he gets it back to the line into Fisher. Diorio closes in, looking for Doucette in front, but he was just displaced enough where he just could not reach out and reel in that pass off the stick of Alessandro Diorio. 3-1, the Firebirds with the advantage. 3:46 left to go. Of note, 30 seconds remaining in the latest installment of the Sarnia Sting power play. Young, nice job there to sidestep Clattenburg as he hands it off to Wainwright, who has to move back towards the blue line. Too much traffic in front. Young, again, parked at the blue line, assessing from there. A little wrist shot that's banked off the boards. I would say on purpose, trying to find the stick of Edwards with a friendly bounce. And the puck ultimately confiscated by Day. And here we go again, as Felak was making friends in front of the net. Felak and the Firebirds have not had the best of relationships over the past few years, and it would appear that that antagonistic nature has once again come into play here. Penalties? Probably not, but time on this power play for the Sarnia Sting is down to 12 seconds.
Yeah, the face-off will be, looks like, to the right of Day as they continue to have words down there. Everybody's been pulled apart, but not sure they're done yet.
Well, generally, if you see a play involving a number of players, number 23, Connor Clattenburg of the Flint Firebirds, is right in the thick of the action, if I'm not mistaken. No, there's no penalties here.
No.
I think he was part of that deal last year that saw Gavin Hayes go to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, if memory recollects. Bodine on the line, a shot, bouncing in front. A job there by Taylor to rescue the play. Left there for Thibodeau, riding a 2-goal performance, and maybe a third here. Nice setup in front by Petrie to hit him in flight. And he made a move, but he kind of misjudged and mishandled the puck at the last moment after a tasty little pass in front by Caden Petrie. As this power play for the Sarnia Sting no longer a concern for the penalty killers of the Firebirds, as once again they reassemble in behind the Sarnia net. Trying to pull away from his check is Diorio. He hands it off now to Brown, who navigates his way to the Flint line. That unit out of gas, as it's just flipped in behind the net by Brown. And that will afford the Sarnia Sting a change of manpower here with 2.5 left to go in the second period. And the score exactly the same as it was after the first period at 3-1 Flint. Towards the near side boards, they battle for it. Cook all tied up there with Francis Getty. And now it bounds all the way back to the goaltender, Mayette, who will cover it up, and the faceoff will come in front of him.
And some more pushing and shoving here with 2:13 to go. No scoring here in the second period. Still 3-1 Flint.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the first time they meet in the regular season is the second weekend of the regular season. I'm trying to think of the venue, but I believe Sarnia and Flint meet in week 2 of the regular season in the Ontario Hockey League. When you see a club 8 times, there's going to be some frequency.
I will take your word for it.
With head-to-head meetings. Good rivalry over the years. Never met in the playoffs, though.
No.
Of course, going back to the days in Plymouth, Sarnia and Plymouth met several times in the playoffs, but this installment of the franchise and the Sarnia Sting have never met. Now it's back onto the stick of Wainwright. Wainwright trying to pull it ahead. Doherty was with him. And now a pass across the ice to Cook, but it was a little bit off target as it's picked off now in front of net. A shot! It's loose in front. Mayette with a dandy save to start. And then a rebound in front of the net that caught the eye of the Firebirds. They got a second opportunity, but that was banked wide. 1:40 left to go here in the second period. Here come the Firebirds again, looking for a little taste of offense in the Sarnia zone, but the Sting tidy up matters defensively and throw it as far as the Flint line. Colosimo trying to keep it alive there, but he can't. Here comes Lukey looking to pull away from Collins. Lukey tucked in behind the Flint net, trying to find a passing partner, but the Sting were in the midst of a change. Hall reports for duty in the Flint zone, looking to pick up the pieces on a play that fragments for the Sarnia Sting as we've got a minute left to go in the second period. Lukey centering pass in front as he was looking to target the stick of Carson Hall. But some good defensive work there by the Firebirds prevented that passing play from coming to fruition. Here comes Hall again. Hall trying to get a shot away, blocked ably there by Collins. Now it's at the line. Barr steps into the shot, deflected in front by Hall, and a save made there by Day. A second chance for Hall as it's kind of lodged towards the side of the net in Flint territory, and here we go again. Good shift by the Sarnia Sting.
Real good shift. Couple good opportunities. Got a Sting player down there.
I think it's Zach Felak, if I'm not mistaken.
And both D come in for the Sting here, so everybody's involved in this one.
Yeah, Felak, I think, got caught in the crossfire of players in behind the Flint net.
We'll see if there's any penalties here. All this with 43 seconds, but a good push by the Sting here, looking to get back within 1 before the end of this period. And I do see at least one Firebirds player going to the box.
Colosimo might be going for the Firebirds, that being Christian Colosimo.
And Lukey going as well for the Sting, so this could end up being a wash. 2 up, maybe 4 on 4 here. I think if I can, no, 5 on 4.
I'll tell you, Dylan Lukey's showing a little bite in his game in here tonight. He's been very much involved in the physical aspect of things, and sometimes that's forced upon you a little bit, but I like the way he's stepped up and, not taking any guff from the Firebirds.
So the Sting will get a power play opportunity here. And thought maybe they might take the face-off outside as the D had come in off that play for the Sting. They had brought the puck outside.
And I think that's what's being discussed. Yeah, Blake Smith went over. Just to articulate your thought, Patrick.
Yeah, Normally the face-off obviously would be down deep in the zone, but
that's a prudent call.
Both Sting D joined the melee after the whistle, so they will bring the face-off outside the Flint zone with 43 seconds to go, but the Sting do have the power play. They have a power play goal here tonight.
Let's see if they can tack on another here with the period fading away down to a half minute left. What a play by Fisher at the line to keep the play alive. And now he'll do some dealing here with Doucette. Doucette took that pass, but he was knocked off stride there by Clattenburg, who threw it ahead towards Zarowski. And he can't get by the defenseman Fisher, who insulates well at the Sarnia line. Lukasz Fisher in pursuit of him. Zarowski trying to pick it away from Fisher, who has to retreat back in behind his own net after some good diligent forechecking by the rookie first rounder Diorio. Back into Flint territory, makes a move to the outside, but time is going to wind down before he can get a play put together. Now Brown comes in on Smith after a late hit on Diorio. Didn't sit well with the Sarnia Sting players that are on the ice.
Well, no scoring here in the second, but the Sting will have 1 minute 17 seconds of power play time to play with here to begin this third period. They've looked good. Got to hand it to Mayette. Made several big saves in that second period to keep it 3-1. Wasn't overly busy, but there was a couple opportunities there by Flint where he had to make some big saves.
Yeah, I like the response. I quite agree. So the penalized players will depart, and that will do it for the second period. Shots on goal after 2 periods of play. 21 for the Sting, 18 for the Firebirds. The distribution in the second saw Flint was 7. And the application of 6 shots by the Sarnia Sting with 40 minutes complete. And the Flint Firebirds leading at 3-1. But as Patrick mentioned, a good chance for the Sarnia Sting to erode some of that Flint lead early on in the third period with 1 minute 17 left to go on a power play. We will step aside, and in about 17 minutes time, we will rejoin you for the third period of play here in Sarnia. And welcome back to the Hive in Sarnia as we approach the third period of play. The Firebirds leading this contest by a score of 3-1. But of note, the Sarnia Sting will begin this third period with a minute 17 remaining on a power play, looking to cash in and enhance their chances for a comeback in this one.
Big opportunity here with 1:17 to play with. The power plays look good here tonight.
Yes. I think offensively they've generated a fair bit of opportunities. Nathan Day and Evan Mayette, the goaltenders in here. I quite echo your thought on Mayette in the second period. I think you ask your goaltender when you're down to try and keep you in the hockey game, and I think Mayette delivered on that front.
He did. 4-1's no good, and he made there was three sequences there where he made some big saves to keep it 3-1, giving his team a chance here. And both goalies, Day and Mayette, still in the hockey game. We were wondering if maybe we'd see a change here at the end of the second, but both goalies will start and finish the game.
Yeah, Mayette and Carson Chartier last night in Windsor split the chores against the Spitfires in that 6-3 setback, and Blake Smith right from the faceoff will eliminate some time on this power play as he'll bank it off the wall all the way back in the Sarnia territory. Bodine will defer now to Lucas Fisher as he will navigate his way out of his own zone, confronted there by Petrie. Fisher to leave it there now for Diorio, who speeds his way ahead in tandem with Doucette. Diorio face to the outside on Blake Smith. It's left there now for Brown, who chips it off the wall neatly onto the stick of Fisher. Bodine, his cross-ice delivery away from Diorio, but handled in behind the net by Ryan Brown. Brown pursues the puck. Smith draped all over him. A centering pass all the way back to Diorio, who hands it off to Fisher. Now it's Bodine closing in with a shot right on. Little rebound there for Doucette as he pounds it into the pad of Day, who's forced into back-to-back saves here as his power play is down to 22nd, but the Sting still operating in the right end of town, right in front of Nathan Day, as it's picked off now by the Firebirds and hoisted down the ice as Thibodeau will find it, and that will do it for the power play as Thibodeau makes another contribution. Not to be overshadowed by his two-goal effort in here tonight, but a nice job there at the tail end of that penalty-killing assignment for the Firebirds to deny the Sarnia Sting a last chance on that man advantage. Cunningham dispatched from the penalty box, and he will make his way over to the Firebirds bench. Here comes Filak, confronted at the line by the newcomer Mania. Mania, the former Sudbury Wolf, as the Sudbury Wolves had a lot of players that were going into an overage season, so they had to do a little tinkering, and that they did. All the way back towards the line. Now on the stick of the defenseman Young. He'll pound it back in behind the Firebirds net. A little bit of a slow start to this second period, which suits the Flint Firebirds and their purposes in here tonight, as they have the two-goal advantage as we play just over a couple minutes here in the third. And we're talking about the number of games that the Spirit and Firebirds will play against the Sarnia Sting early on. By the time the third week of November rolls around, they will have played Flint 4 times and Saginaw 3 times, so a large concentration of those games against the Michigan-based teams will be exhausted fairly early in the season. Now back to the line. Darcy steps into the shot. It's in front for Wang, who made a move and just lost the handle as Mayette was swimming over to prevent Wang from getting a shot away, but Wang again had the puck off his stick as he was attempting a move in front. All the way back to the line now. Here comes a pinching Collins making a move to get the wrist shot away, and he whistles it just wide of the blocker side of Mayette. So, in light of taking care of the remnants of a power play for the Sarnia Sting to open the third period, the Flint Firebirds have introduced some offense into their attack over the last couple of shifts, and the Sarnia Sting forced into an icing situation as once again they will reconvene in front of Evan Mayette.
Well, they had some tired guys out there that are going to have to stay on here because of that icing. So the Firebirds are going to look to make things happen here. No, the Sting are going to use their timeout, I think. Yes, they are. So timeout being called here by the Sting to make sure that those guys are able to get a breather here before this face-off. Still 3-1. Firebirds pressuring after that power play by the Sting.
Yeah, 30-second timeout has been issued by Al Letang as he discusses a little strategy with his team and affords them an opportunity to catch their breath. 24-19, the shots on goal. That siding with the Sarnia Sting. However, the Firebirds with 3 goals in the opening period to Sarnia's 1 with a scoreless second period. And that is where we sit at this stage of the game here tonight in Sarnia.
Just over 3 minutes gone here in the third period. Again, a good crowd in here for an exhibition game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kind of a reoccurring theme around here.
Face off. Looks like it will be to the right of Mayette.
Caden Petrie awaits the arrival of Alessandro Diorio to contest this face-off in front of Mayette. Originally a Kitchener Ranger, coming over last season, at least his rights, after a season with the Toronto Patriots. All the way onto the stick of Bridgewater. He'll lift it towards the red line. Now it's available for Diorio, who bursts his way into the Flint zone, gets the shot away and scores! What a beautiful play authored by Alessandro Diorio, who rears back and fires a low shot to beat Nathan Day on the blocker side. And the Sarnia Sting have closed the gap. It's now 3-2 as the rookie cashes in with a wonderful play in front.
This kid is good, and he's been a lot of fun to watch all training camp long here. He got a goal last night, and he's going to add a huge one here for the Sarnia Sting as they are now back within 1 here with 16:42 to go. Just a good hard shot just as he was coming together with the Flint defenseman, and he fires that one low and gets the Sting within reach here.
And so Diorio gets this crowd back into the contest with a brilliant play in front of the net. His second in as many preseason games, and the Sting might not be done yet. Good low drive from the line by Fisher. That was brushed aside by Hall, but he steered it a fraction wide as the Flint Firebirds buckled back a little bit in their own zone as the Sarnia Sting look to come all the way back from a 3-1 deficit. The job somewhat a little more appetizing now with a goal there by Diorio. See if we got an assist on the play. Bridgewater will for sure get one of the assists. As it is back towards the near side boards, Collins will golf it towards the goaltender Mayette, who will just flag it down with the glove and leave it for the available stick of Mitch Young, who meanders his way through traffic and fires it back in behind. Then Edminder Day. It's up for grabs in the corner. Lane Sim, good play there to duck away from a check and poke it in the direction of Felak, who couldn't reel it in time. Look at the Sarnia Sting dial up some really menacing forechecking here, but Collins there to offset it with a good body bump to neutralize Felak in behind the Flint net.
My guess is maybe Brown on that,
Yep.
but we'll wait and see.
Well, Mayette comes up with a good pad save there on Collins, who dashes up the right wing side, abandoning his blue line post. As here come the Sarnia Sting again. A move to the outside by James Barr. Little hook there by Collins, but they're going to let him play on. Kostov down low in the Flint zone to collect the loose puck. Bridgewater took a spill, and Kostov will have a lane to stride out of his own zone. That offset somewhat by the forechecking of Doucette. Now it bounces around rather recklessly at the Sarnia line, and finally Brown is there to toss it back in behind the Flint net. We talked about it last year with this edition of the Sarnia Sting, and a lot of the pieces are here again. When that forecheck is moving and in motion, they're a difficult team to defend. Diorio looking for another one, as that was off the arm of Day, as Diorio was looking for the short side. Now here comes Ryan Brown in front, trying to tie the game at 3, and he was just nudged off the puck at the last moment. Another chance, Bridgewater from the line, and that directed wide by Ryan Brown. Feverish attack here by the Sarnia Sting as they're looking to feast on these opportunities afforded to them here in the first 6 minutes of the third period. 1 goal to show for it, as it's now 3-2. 26 shots for the Sting, 21 for the Flint Firebirds. Here comes Ryan Brown as O'Mary hit the deck as he was all tied up with Jack Darcy. Now it's a play in front of the net. Looks like Flint has kind of lost a little fuel in their legs here.
The The Sting have been moving well here. Maybe
Fisher.
2 penalties here.
Yeah, well, Petry's going to get one for sure. A little hook to knock his man Fisher to the ice.
No, there was a penalty, delayed penalty coming from about 40 seconds ago. Mary on the wall here. And
that's going to be Darcy.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to call the second one, which they probably should have, as Fisher was making a move to the inside. He was hauled down. And they're getting one for sure, but I think that's all that they're going to end up with here.
And so things get a little bit more intriguing here at the Hive in Sarnia. A renaissance by the Sting here in the first 6.5 minutes of the third period. And they are one strike away from tying this game at 3 apiece, and a power play to try and get that elusive goal to tie it. Wainwright out there with Felix, Sim to join him. Young and Edwards will partner on the blue line. Young ahead now towards Wainwright. His back pressed against the near side boards. Young with a snapshot. Good screen in front by Lane Sim. And that certainly impaired the sight line of Nathan Day, but he managed to get a piece of it. And the Sarnia Stinger ushered out of the offensive zone, but they reappear as they burst to the attack, led here by Wainwright. To the line, Edwards into Young. Position at the high slot area, being shadowed there rather sternly by Clattenburg. Top of the circle, near wing, Wainwright having a look around. Young with another shot that was nearly deflected, and maybe so by Lane Sim, who found a little comfort zone in front of the net. You can see the confidence in Lane Sim on the offensive side of the puck. It's starting to come together for him. He's been in the right place at the right time, and Felak takes a hit in behind the net, and he falls to the ice. In behind the net, it is forced out of there by Flint. Clattenburg and company retired to the bench with a minute left to go on the power play. 12.5 remaining in the third period. 3-2 your score. The Firebirds with a lead, but a precarious one at best, based on the strength of the Sarnia Sting's opening minutes here in the third. Fisher to leave it there now. Here comes Diorio sprinting his way up the right wing side, accelerating past his man Taylor. Diorio a shot as he whistles it into the midsection of Day. Another nice display of skating there by Alessandro Diorio to get the shot away from the far wing.
Doucette will pick up the other assist, so it'll be Doucette and Bridgewater on the goal by Diorio.
That makes sense.
Still 36 seconds left here on this power play for the Sting. Face-off will be to the left of Day. 3-2 the score for Flint. Just over 12 to play here in the third.
Off the face-off, Zarowski trying to alleviate the heavy pressure that the Sting have subjected the Firebirds to in recent minutes. Here comes Fisher, back at it in tandem with Brown. The two of them a little give and take. Now it's back towards Diorio, who pinched in a little bit too far and lost his footing. Zarowski back into the Sarnia zone as he glares over at Diorio. A couple of first-round picks taken within the first 6 of the last OHL priority selection. Diorio trudges his way to the red line, but he was met there by Collins. Collins pokes it ahead towards Kostov, but led him astray with a pass that was just a little too far for him. Doucette wisely off the boards to park it in behind the Sarnia net as he finds Fisher. Up the ice towards Bodine, but that pass was off the mark and reclaimed by the Firebirds. As it is back towards Doucette, he'll brush it off the boards. Felix sprints after it, but Smith is there to guard the blue line. Ahead now, left for Kostov. As the Firebirds penetrate in there a little further. Kostov, good pass, blindly onto the stick of Smith, who pitches in for the blue line and unveils a heavy shot that he whistles wide. It has enough steam to jump over the glass, and with 11 exactly to play here in the third. 3-2 for the Firebirds, but again, the Sarnia Sting have been by far the better team here in the third period.
Real good pressure here in this third period, looking for the equalizer. They trail by 1, but are coming on strong. As both teams take a little break here as they clear the snow around the benches.
As the two goaltenders report to the bench to get a little refresher before returning to their respective net. Shots on goal, the Sting with 28 and the Firebirds with 21. Sarnia Sting 7 shots here in the third period, but it seems like more than that based on the pressure.
They've played well here. They got down early, but they stuck with it. The offense has been good all night here, creating opportunities.
There is a gentleman wearing the University of Michigan ball cap, their first loss in a long, long time. And I watched it for about the first 3 quarters, and I said, I just can't take any more of
they
it.
did lose, eh?
Yeah, they did. They lost quite big.
Oof.
Or let's put it this way, they were losing big. That in Ann Arbor to a very good Texas Longhorns outfit. As we contest the face-off in the Sarnia zone, it's up for grabs. Felak will leave it there for Mitch Young, who pounds it off the boards. Beckham Edwards trying to carry the flow out of the zone. He will ultimately in tandem with Felak, but good job there of restriction by the defensive tandem for the Firebirds. Now it's into the zone. Sim takes a late hit there applied by Darcy. Sim comes back and gives Darcy a little business in return. And I would think the 2 players will be separated before any penalties are warranted. I think they're just going to, well, I don't think there should be penalties here. We'll see if there is, but I'm hedging a bet there won't be.
No, it looks like they're going to leave things be here for now. 10:39 on the clock. Face-off looks like it'll stay. No, they're going to bring it outside the Flint zone right next to the Firebirds bench.
10:39 left to go here in the 3rd period. Wainwright to line up against Matthew Wang for this face-off just ahead of the Firebirds line. Francis Keddy out there, as is Sean Doherty. Patrolling the blue line, the duo of Bridgewater and O'Mary. As it's back towards Collins, he'll lift a pass ahead towards Cook that was in behind him. Maybe icing is going to be the sentence against the Firebirds for an ill-advised pass ahead, one that was off the mark, and indeed they do relinquish their end of the ring for a face-off in front of Nathan Day. As the Sting again looking to dust off another opportunity to tie this at 3 apiece.
Face-off this time to the left of Day. Wainwright to take the draw.
Same 2 line mates for Wainwright and Francis Getty and Sean Doherty. Francis Getty doing a little speed work along the boards to loosen up the puck. A good job. Now it's in front. Doherty was looking for it along with Francis Getty, and the 2 of them denied as it's yanked out of the Firebird zone. Here they come as it's Cunningham. A little bit of a bumpy ride for him as he's taken out of the play a couple of times in the area adjacent to the Sting line. In the meantime, Wainwright picks it up. A penalty coming up here, and I think it's going to go to Flint one more time. Might be it's going to be interference coming up here, I think, to Ryland Cunningham. And here we go again. Francis Keddy involved with Collins here.
And they're both going to go. Shouldn't affect the upcoming power play here.
Yeah, they're both going to go. We might need a definition on that.
Both going to go to the penalty box.
Yeah, there you go.
For now, anyways.
Yep. Yeah, Francis Keddy is going along with the veteran Collins.
Oh.
And Wang is also being handed a penalty here as well. So
it's going to be a 5-on-3 maybe?
Yeah, it could be.
For sure it'd be a 5-on-4 for the Sting.
Well,
We're just waiting to see here whether or not.
Well, Cunningham, I think, was getting the initial penalty for interference. Wang is stepping back out. So I think it will be a Sarnia power play coming up here with 10:04 left to go in the 3rd. 3-2 your score once again, siding with the Flint Firebirds, but
it's been all Sting here back the last 7 minutes here. We'll see if they can continue here.
As the Firebirds certainly have been a little overworked here in the 3rd period defensively, as they look to safeguard the area in front of Nathan Day, and the Sarnia Sting will try and reshape the offense to once again apply a little more pressure. Smith, a little trouble in behind his own net, but does poke it to a corner that was available. Back to the red line. Fisher will flag it down. Zorowski with some speed in there on the forecheck, but Fisher withstands that and sails away from the young forward. Now back towards the awaiting stick of Diorio. What's he got up his sleeve as he snaps it back in behind the Flint net. Giving chase there is Darcy. He reaches out and is able to push it all the way back towards the goaltender, Mayette. Fisher again. Back there now to begin the mobilization of this power play up the ice. The Sarnia Sting have had quite a few power plays in this game, and we'll see if this one is the one that will level up this game at 3 apiece. Back towards Ryan Brown. A stride or two ahead of the Flint line. That puck confiscated there by Plattenberg originally. He hands it off to Zorowski, who throws it down the ice, and now the Firebirds are looking for a penalty.
Somebody had their stick buried in Fisher as he was skating off the ice, and he just kind of turned around and whacked it away. I'm not sure where it ended up, but it went flying. And the Flint Firebirds looking for a penalty, but didn't get it.
Felak gallops his way towards the Flint line. A move or two to hand it off to Wainwright. He's tucked in the near side corner. His pass back towards Young, misjudged by the defenseman as he'll move back to his own line to reshape things now for the Sarnia Sting. Back towards Taylor, but he coughs it up now to Edwards with a shot, and Mania with a well-timed stick there as he activates the blade of the stick to send that over everything and into the protective netting. All this with 8:31 left to go in the third period. And again, the Sting one shot away from tying this game at 3 apiece.
Still 27 seconds left of power play time here, but the Sting haven't really been able to get things settled down on this power play. Flint's done a good job of keeping them on the run here. Face-off will be to the right of Day.
As the Sting once again try and channel their collective efforts here to establishing a play in front of the net. Felak in the corner trying to work it loose. Sim was also an onlooker as it's back to the line. Sim takes a pass in front off the stick of Edwards, but it bounced into the goaltender. Day now Felak once again involved in front of the net. Sometimes in a tight regular season game, you don't necessarily have the luxury of trying to wage battles like this, but in preseason perhaps it's a little bit more of an opportunity. But having said all that, I would think the Sarnia Sting, Al Letang, Michael Haley, and Dustin Jeffrey will be very, very pleased with this team's ability to stay in the game and stick to the plan.
They've had a good effort here. I think Felak might be taking a penalty here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, they're going to give him a roughing call here. He kind of got into it a little bit after the whistle there, so he's going to be the lone man taken to the box here. So it'll be 4-on-4 for the next 16 seconds, and then it'll be a power play for a minute 54 seconds. No, minute 40. I got to get my math going here. Minute 44 seconds. No, I'm not. You're rubbing off on me here.
Yes, I probably am.
Minute 44 seconds. The Firebirds will have a power play time here after this 16 seconds elapses. Face-off will be to the right here of Mayette. Still 3-2 Firebirds, 8:20 on the clock.
Caden Petrie joins Wainwright in the face-off circle to the blocker side of Mayette. And it's off the face-off. Fisher circles in behind his own net, getting ready to head to the St. Louis Blues camp. As it is picked off now by Wainwright. Wainwright trying to ignite things with a burst of speed. He's got plenty of it as he dashes his way up the left wing side. Darcy, though, a rather astute play defensively to stick a firm shoulder into Wainwright to stall him. And now the Flint Firebirds once again regrouping in their own zone. Darcy circling about, and finally he selects Petrie as his passing partner. We got a penalty coming up here. I think to Clattenburg, who comes into his man. Now Wainwright. Again, Diorio was the target for Clattenburg, who has just taken an absolutely needless penalty here with 7:46 left to go in the third period.
So we'll be 4-on-4 here for the next minute 26 seconds. And see if I can get my math right this time. We'll have a minute 34 seconds. No, sorry, 30. I'm off by a minute. We'll have 34 seconds of power play time once the 4-on-4 is over for the Sting. Face-off 2 will come all the way back down into the Firebird zone. Clattenburg just a penalty that he, I'm sure, is regretting at this point. Interferes with Diorio going into the zone.
Well, they're trying to slow up the rookie. There's no question about it, and he's given them a demonstration as to why he has to be under a microscope, as once again he's been terrific. Back towards Fisher, whose stick shatters in half as he looked to get the drive away from the line. That will cater to Petrie, who's there to pick it up. Now a little bit of sloppy passing by the Firebirds as Collins picking it up off the boards. He'll circle away from Doucette and leave it there now for Thibodeau. Christopher Thibodeau winds it up at the red line and then takes a hit as Bodine comes away with a little bit of an injury here as the big defenseman returns to his skates after being shaken up after a collision there with Christopher Thibodeau. On the way back towards the line, Colosimo. Now going to look around, big towering defenseman of the Flint Firebirds, newcomer to the program as it's shoveled back into the Sarnia zone. Mitch Young, good burst of speed, but he's met there by Petrie, who slows him down, taking away his skating angle. Here comes Ryan Brown, crafty little move to stride away from Mania. He got a shot away, but it was blocked in front of the net after a clever little gesture there by Ryan Brown to give him some clearance, at least for a moment. Kostov, centering pass in front. Brown will be there to intercept as he'll range out of his own zone, speeding his way up the ice now with Wainwright. 6.5 left to go in the third. 3-2 the Firebirds with the advantage. Both teams with personnel in the penalty box, and maybe more to come as we get some shoving in the corner. Picked off now as Brown will spin it back to the line to Young as it's intercepted by Kostov. Here comes Wang out of there, but a nice job by Young to come back and tie up his stick. And here comes Barr. A little seam opens up, a shot by the defenseman. It grazes the shoulder of Day as Barr with an opportunity to kind of pull his way in front of the net as things opened up with some separation between the two defensemen of the Firebirds. Back towards Mitch Young. Back there to collect the puck, gently ahead to Wainwright. Touch pass to Spring Edwards. This looks promising for the Sarnia Sting. Edwards gets it ahead to Doherty, who trying to get a shot away. It was blocked, and it will be angled over the glass and into the netting.
5:41 remaining. We are back to 5-on-5 hockey here. Great effort here by the Sting. Good hustle. Good transition.
Yep.
Lots of speed through the neutral zone here.
Yep, good forecheck here in the third period. And it's got the Firebirds' attention without a doubt.
As the Sting pushed for the equalizer here.
And candidly, I think that would be justified based on the effort. Will it happen? That remains to be seen. But with plenty of time left to go.
They've definitely been the better team here.
Yeah, you can't discount their chances.
Face-off. Looks like it'll be deep in the Firebird zone here to the right of Day. 5:41 to go. Looks like it'll be Franceschetti, Fisher, Doherty, Hall, and Filak. No, they're going to make a few changes here.
I've played a lot of 5-on-5 hockey here in this third period, so a little bit of a rarity. As the Sting have been blessed with a fair bit of power play time in this period, and they've used it well.
Hall, Franceschetti, and Filak out. Bridgewater and O'Mary on the back end.
Little muscle up front for the Sarnia Sting. Trying to find some cracks in the defensive framework of the Firebirds as it's Caden Petrie. He'll sweep it back in behind the Sarnia net, flagged down there by Mayette. He'll wrist it to an open wing. Darcy tried to keep it alive, but he has a little trouble doing so. Nice job there by Franceschetti to knock him off stride. O'Mary whips it back in behind the Flint Firebirds net as it's up for grabs. Zoroski around the boards as O'Mary is there to bottle up his man. Now they continue to feud. Franceschetti, I can see why they like this kid. He plays with a certain element of bite in his game.
He doesn't back down.
No, he sure doesn't. As it's back in behind the net, Petrie around the wall. Zoroski content just to chip it ahead, trying to spring Colosimo. And now Darcy feeds into the attacking zone, relegated to a long-range shot. No problem for Evan Mayette.
It's one of the few he's had here in the third period. If anything, he might be getting a little cold. And more pushing and shoving after the whistle here.
This time it's Hall shoving with, I believe that's Zoroski. Now Filak comes in to join the discussion. Colosimo is also in the picture. That being Josh Colosimo.
Everyone finally seems to be separated here.
4:45 left to go in the third. The Sting, the first team in this game to reach 30 shots. They are on that number as the Firebirds have had 22 shots go against Evan Mayet in here tonight thus far, but the Firebirds still leading it by 1 at 3-2. The only goal of the third coming off the stick of Alessandro Diorio, and a wonderful individual effort to get the people ramped up here at the Hive on a Saturday night in Sarnia. Around the wall, Fisher gets it in front of the net. Wainwright will deflect it back to Fisher. Fisher weaves his way around his man Cunningham. Fisher continues on with his pursuit of the Flint line. He does get it to Doherty with a wrist shot from afar. That's nowhere near the net. Bodine snaps it right back in behind that Firebirds net. Day out there to move it to a corner, but that was errant in nature, that exchange between he and Taylor, and they almost paid a price for that miscalculation. Out the left wing side, here comes Wainwright again, trying to get away from Taylor. He gets a wrist shot away, one that he tugs a mile wide. Now towards the line, Bard trying to find Doherty in front of the net. Wainwright also in there, trying to hunt down a loose puck down low. It is Wainwright, a bounding puck restricting him. Edwards there in support, back to the line into Mitch Young, being guarded there by Kostov. Wainwright with a shot, not a threatening shot, but Day wasn't taking any chances with 3:45 left to go in the third. Quickly out comes the glove as he'll settle for a face-off in front of him.
I think he was hoping for one of those rebounds that we saw earlier in the game. He's seemed to have tidied those up a little bit.
Yes.
Day has.
Yeah, well, and again, you said it best as a former goaltender and an analyst, that there's going to be some rust. There's no two ways about it.
An early pull here with
yes.
3:45 on the clock. Sting going to go 6-on-5 here as they've got the Firebirds on their heels.
Yeah,
so
I can see where the calculation is coming from by Al Letang based on the level of pressure the Sarnia Sting have applied here in the third period. So a vulnerable Sarnia Sting net as Diorio will pick it up. And if you factor in that the power play has been a pretty efficient unit for the Sarnia Sting, that probably furthers the argument to go with the sixth attacker. Shot there by Filak after a nifty feed by Bodine. And that's blockered aside by Day with confidence. Filak has it again. He'll get it down low towards Brown there. After it now, Wainwright after Clattenburg. Now it's in behind the net. Filak tucks it ahead towards Diorio. Away from his check, Tessier. Back towards the far side boards. Filak, gentle pass to get it into Fisher. He had to elevate it a little bit. And now it's back to Fisher guarding the blue line. Nice job to flag down that pass. Brown has it in behind the net. Centering effort there, but tossed aside by Tessier.
there's a penalty. Yeah.
Absolutely a penalty coming up here. It will go to Mania for grabbing one of the Sting stick.
That was Wainwright taking an absolute beating in front of the net that entire shift. And then Mania grabs his stick and throws it into the corner. The arm goes up, so he's getting the initial penalty.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see as Wainwright kind of jumped up and gave him a bear hug after the fact. So we'll see who's getting what here. The initial penalty definitely going to the Flint Firebirds. And we'll see if things get evened up. All this with 2:50 on the clock. Sting had the goalie pulled here from 3:45 on as they've got the Firebirds on their heels. It seems to be working here. A couple good opportunities here by the Sting as the officials get together here to discuss what's going to happen here with these penalties.
Well, Mania for sure is going to get one for, I'm assuming, unsportsmanlike conduct. That would be the guess I would have, just based on the fact that he collected Wainwright's stick and gave it a toss away from the player.
Either that or illegal equipment, because you're essentially playing with two sticks, right? You're not allowed to grab.
I'd buy that. So let's see how this all sorts out as the referees, Chad Ingalls and David Elford, are at the penalty box area looking to sort the matter out. 2:50 left to go in the third. 3-2 Flint leads it. No shortage of animosity in here tonight. Seems like every post whistle is greeted with some sort of a disturbance.
Sting have used their timeout already. Flint has not. Still waiting to see here. Nothing up on the board here yet. The reaction of Smith, he's not, I don't think, liking what he's being told. So that bodes well, I think, for the Sting here. As 2 minutes goes up.
Yeah. Well, there's Matthew Mania.
Yeah, he was the initial call for sure.
Yeah.
And they're maybe giving him a misconduct. They're telling him to get out of here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think his night is over. do you roll the dice again and pull the goaltender Mayette?
I would think so.
Yeah, Mania's done.
Yeah, 2 and a 10 there.
Yeah, he hands his helmet to one of the equipment people for the Flint Firebirds.
Yeah, it looks like that's all.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 2 and a 10 for Mania. 2:50 on the clock.
I was kind of wondering too if Wainwright might have bought himself a trip to the box as well with his reaction,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. Alatang, I think, is telling
come
Mayette
halfway
to
out.
see who wins the face-off
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
As long as they win the face-off, he'll
Yeah.
be heading to the bench here, and it'll be 6-on-4. So 2:50 on the clock. Sting have the 2-minute power play here.
Well, his stay on the ice might be a brief one based on his geographic positioning about halfway out of that Sarnia net. In the meantime, Filak will join Bodine, Brown, Fisher, and Diorio as this power play for the Sarnia Sting with 2:50 left to go in the third period has a chance to tie it up at 3. They're urging Filak to back away. And now Fisher into Diorio. He's got a clean look in front. It's bounding around right at the goal line. Filak just unable to tuck it home. A very uncomfortable save there for Nathan Day. All he could do was look over his shoulder and hope for the best as it was traveling towards the goal line, but stays out. Now Fisher will angle out of his own zone, and he'll leave it there for Jack Bodine. Onto the stick of Diorio. Diorio met at the line as he takes a shoulder firmly planted into him by Blake Smith. Yeah, 2 and a 10 to Mania as we suspected. Here comes Bodine as he winds it up in his own zone, speeding his way up the ice. Good skating by the big defenseman as he leaves it there now for Brown. Brown was looking for Filak, who had parked in front of the Flint net, but the passing play not completed. Brown with a shot right on target. Day able to get a piece of that. Mayette now a spectator at the side of the Sarnia bench. Diorio at the line, being spied upon there by Petrie. It's in behind the net. Brown, nice job there to give himself a little clearance as the congestion in behind the net may have prevented it. Now Brown in front, shot scores! Ryan Brown pounces on a juicy rebound that inflates off of Nathan Day. And the Sarnia Sting have tied the game at 3 apiece with 1:36 left to go here in the third. Excellent work in front by everyone involved, and Ryan Brown, the first man at the bench to receive the handshakes of his mates.
That was Franceschetti in front of the net, causing that havoc. The initial shot comes through. Don't know if it makes it through or not. Puck comes out, and Brown's there hunting for that rebound. Doesn't take him long. He picks it up, puts it up under the bar, and with 1:36 left, a power play goal for the Sting have tied things up here at 3 apiece.
Well, I know that this power play has had a lot of opportunities, but it has looked very fluid in here tonight. And a couple of goals last night by the power play in Windsor as well, so that component of their operations has been productive in the first 48 hours of work in this preseason schedule for the Sarnia Sting. 1:19 left to go here in the third. Young at the red line, trying to pull away from his check. Ryan Brown, big things expected from the former first-round pick. As it's back on the stick of James Barr. Barr trying to shred a check, and now Smith comes in to put a shoulder into Brown, or check that Barr to neutralize him along the far side boards. In the meantime, Doherty there to piece together some passing. A shot from the line by Young as we dip below a minute left to go here in regulation time. But the quest for the Sarnia Sting was to eliminate a 2-goal deficit heading into the third. They've done that as Thibodeau once again looking dangerous on a venture up the ice, but Mayette was there with a pad save along the short side. Half-minute left to go here in the third. The Sting with the application of 33 shots to Flint's 22.
Franceschetti and Bodine pick up the assist on that.
As we will note that.
And the Firebirds way offside on that play with 18 seconds to play here.
I feel like he's having himself a third period. 18.9 seconds left here in regulation time. We are knotted at 3 apiece in what has been a pretty entertaining hockey game. Well, the first spin for the Sting here on home ice in the preseason.
great showing for the Sting here, especially in this third period.
Yep.
They've been all over Flint here.
Now Letang wants an explanation from one of the referees as David Elford is over to oblige. Not sure the nature of the discussion, but perhaps a little tactic by Al Letang to maybe get an answer to a question, but maybe give their players an opportunity to fuel up a little bit. Clattenburg to take the draw up there along with Hull directly ahead of the Sarnia Sting line. Bodine into Fisher. As Bodine has it now, he'll sling a pass ahead to Doucette. He'll bounce it off the wall, but Collins is there to tip it forward. Fisher returns it into Flint territory. Clattenburg will just stride in behind his own net. And this game is 3-3 with 3 periods in the books.
We were discussing in the second intermission, we're not sure what happens here, if they do an overtime and a shootout like regulation, or if they, doesn't look like they're heading off, so
no,
it's not going to stay a 3-3 tie here.
No, it is not.
Not sure if they go right to shootout or if they do the usual 3-on-3 overtime here.
I'll tell you what, great job by the Sarnia Sting, relegating the Flint Firebirds to 4 shots in that third period of play.
Well, and most of them came right after that initial power play that the Sting had at the start of that third period. Flint came down with a good surge right after that and had a few of those 4 shots right then, and since then it's been all Sting.
And credit to Evan Mayette for hanging tough in that second period of play as the Sarnia Sting fed off of that goaltending, and they are the benefactors of a job well done by the young goaltender to force this game a little further.
Looks as though we will have 3-on-3 hockey here.
Yep, 3-on-3. I love that format, to be honest with you.
Oh, maybe not.
No, they're going to go
right to a shootout.
Yeah, they're going right to a shootout. I thought maybe, we weren't quite sure about that in preseason. And broadcast many preseason games, so.
And no Zamboni, no nothing here. They're going to go right into the shootout.
Yep.
And it'll be the Flint Firebirds up first here.
And
Mayette's a little cold here. He hasn't seen that much action here in the third period.
Well, when you got a 2-goal man on the bench and Christopher Thibodeau, you might as well hand him the first opportunity to go in on Mayette. Thibodeau makes a move, and Mayette, a sliding save in spectacular fashion. Advantage Sarnia Sting. And I give you Alessandro Diorio, who scored a beautiful goal in the third period. And let's see what the kid has up his sleeve here as he's introduced to the crowd here in Sarnia. Diorio feints to the right wing side as he confronts the goaltender Nathan Day. Diorio gets a shot away and just misses high to the glove side of Day. So nothing doing in the first 2 shots. And out comes Caden Petrie to try and get the first goal of this shootout here in Sarnia tonight. Injury-riddled season last year for Caden Petrie as he will swerve his way towards the goaltender. Mayette, he mishandled the puck there, and Mayette comes up with a pad save. I think Petrie overthought it a little bit, and he just kind of twisted himself into a bad spot, and it turned into a relatively benign chance in front.
Ryan Brown out now for the Sting.
Ryan Brown, who tied this game not long ago, has got a chance to get the Sting the first goal of the shootout. Oh, nice save there by Day, who yanks out a glove to knock it down. We're still looking for a goal here in this shootout. And Connor Clattenburg will be introduced to the crowd here as the former Sioux Greyhound makes his way towards center ice. Clattenburg will pick it up and speed his way into the zone. A chorus of boos follows him all the way in. Clattenburg makes a move, and once again, Evan Mayette outfoxes a Flint shooter as he moves to the near side post and is able to strike out a pad to keep this thing scoreless here in the shootout session.
Good patience by Mayette, staying with the puck.
How about Beckham Edwards, a goal scorer earlier tonight? In on top of Day. Shot Day, able to once again make a pad save of his own as Beckham Edwards is denied. How about another rookie to take center stage under the bright lights of the Hive here tonight, that being Cole Zarowski. Ahead now, here comes Zarowski. He'll speed his way in with Mayette watching all the way, making a move in front, and Mayette got a little sliver of that to steer it in behind the net. Brilliant goaltending so far here by both netminders in this shootout session. And now, Lukasz Fischer, newly minted member of the St. Louis Blues stable of prospects. He'll pick it up and bring it into the Flint zone, confronting the goaltender, Dave Fischer. Shot, Day got a piece. Oh, he nearly knocked it into his own net. As he just got a fraction of the puck, it springs into the air.
It went off the crossbar,
sure
too,
did.
and then came back, almost hit Day again on the way back, but does not cross the line.
Brendan Cook summoned to center ice. Is he going to be the player to break through with a goal here in the shootout? Mayette stares him down and off the goal post as we carry on. How about Tyson Doucette, the top returning point producer from a season ago for the Sarnia Sting? He is introduced and he will approach the puck as he'll dash his way in front of the Flint net. Here comes Doucette. Shot scores! As he finds a little crease, and the Sarnia Sting come all the way back, win it in a shootout. Compliments of a goal by Tyson Doucette. Good stuff here tonight for the Sarnia Sting. Their first preseason win is in the bank with a 4-3 comeback effort against the Flint Firebirds.
Real impressive effort here by the Sting. And you're starting to see those young guys in that offense starting to come together here.
You betcha.
They've got some talent out there. There's no question about it. And real good effort, especially starting in that third period. Just had Flint on their heels the entire period. Fought back, 2-goal deficit, tied things up, and then win it in a shootout.
Absolutely. So that will be it for tonight. As the fans leave happy here in Sarnia, comeback effort. Your final score here from the Hive, the Sarnia Sting 4, the Flint Firebirds 3, on a shootout winner by Tyson Doucette. And we will be back for the next home preseason game coming up on the 17th of the month when the Windsor Spitfires arrive in town.